And hello, people, there are zombies. I know that the outbreak is on the other side of the world, in a small little location, but zombies. How is everyone so chill? Am I underestimating how well people will take the news of a zombie outbreak? Hey guys, my name is Lisa M. Waring, and this is Real Talk, a podcast where I discuss movies and TV more extensively and how art imitates life, imitates art. Our theme this month is heist movies. So I put out a poll and you guys voted for the 2021 action, drama, comedy, Army of Thieves. This is a prequel to Army of the Dead where there was a zombie breakout in Las Vegas. This one doesn't really have any zombies in it. I mean, you get like a snippet, but this is just a heist movie. A long heist movie. Hold up. Just realized that the star of this movie, Matthias, German last name, is also the director. Kudos. Spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. We're in Germany and we're introduced to Sebastian, who is making a YouTube channel on Hans Wagner, a very famous locksmith guy. Apparently, he created 4 incredible puzzling safes that if you get the combination wrong, they lock
forever
and incinerate the contents inside. He uploads his videos to his channel and you see that all of his videos have 0 views. I feel your pain, Sebastian. The algorithm is a finicky beast. Sebastian lives all alone. No girlfriend, no family, nothing. He practices picking a lock and figuring out the combination without looking and gets it in 8 seconds. One of the few times when finishing fast is a good thing. Then he gets dressed and heads off to work where he is getting screamed at by customers. He's a bank teller and he doesn't seem to be enjoying it. No disrespect, guys, but it does feel like a very boring job. Just saying. On the TV, Sebastian notices that there is a zombie outbreak happening in Las Vegas and nobody flinches, like it's a regular flu season outbreak or something. Someone in the shadows is watching him though. Sebastian checks his recent video upload and he sees that someone has not only looked at it, but left a comment. He is elated. I can't front. You get a really good feeling when someone leaves a comment on your video. Hint. The commenter invites him to a secret location in Berlin for him to come test out his safe cracking skills. Sebastian really doesn't have anything else to do, so he heads over to Berlin that night. And he is thrust into a competition with 7 other safecrackers.
The clock is set for 3 minutes. If neither competitor finishes, we default to a tie.
Can I just say that this chick's hairstyle is on point? I remember when so many guys was rocking the Gumby back in the day. Fun time. Sebastian makes it through 3 rounds and becomes the new #1 safecracker. The next day, he goes to his favorite coffee shop and is approached by Gwendolyn Starr, who reveals herself as the person who invited him to the safecracking competition. Beware of pretty girls, Sebastian. She tells him she's an internationally wanted jewelry thief who's part of a crew that pulls off heists, and they want to recruit him for the next one. Of all the coffee shops in all the world, she had to walk into his. It's not every day you get approached by a pretty girl in a coffee shop who wants you to commit a crime. She and her crew want to crack the ring circle. Basically the YouTube video that he had put out about Hans Wagner creating 4 safes. And the first 3 were called the ring circle. She explains to him that now is the perfect time. Everyone's distracted with the zombies. They could pull off a heist. Sebastian's on the fence. So he goes home that night and he falls asleep watching the news covering the Las Vegas zombies thing because yes, again, I have to reiterate, zombies are a thing happening right now. Then we get a jump scare that you see coming a mile away. Sebastian takes the offer. I'm so shocked. He goes to the address that Gwendolyn has given to him and we are introduced to the whole crew, Suicide Squad style. There's Karina, the master hacker, Rolf, the getaway driver, and by far the one with the coolest accent, and finally Brad Cage, the leader and action hero. Well, he fancies himself a leader and an action hero. His inspiration was Brad Pitt and Nicolas Cage. You get it. They go over the logistics of the 3 safes. You have the Rheingold with 13 million combinations, the Valkyrie with 235 billion combinations, and lastly, the Siegfried with 72 trillion combinations. The trifecta. Godspeed, my friends. They set to work on getting the first one done. But Sebastian is so nervous that they're like, okay, let's go over the plan again. And the movie does this interesting thing where it flash forwards, narrating and showing you what the plan is. So it shows them entering, getting past the guards, opening the safe, and coming out with no problems. And Sebastian's in the truck going, it can't be that easy. And then Gwendolyn looks at him and she goes, Sebastian, it's already done. And you see that he's literally holding the bag of money. Genius. Well played. But they haven't gone unnoticed. The theft has caught the attention of Interpol, and Gwendolyn has been on their wanted list for quite some time. The head of the investigation, Delacroix, has been chasing Gwendolyn for years, and he is convinced that they're going to hit the other 2 Wagner lock safes as well. His team is like, yeah, we hear you, but zombies in Vegas are a thing. Shouldn't we be focusing on that? Yeah, Delacroix, I kind of got to agree with your team here. There are zombies to be worrying about. But Delacroix does not care. He is fixated. This man's got tunnel vision. He wants this crew and he wants them bad. Sebastian and the others are back at their headquarters, partying and enjoying their win. Karina throws a not so subtle let's make out signal to Sebastian. But my dude only has eyes for Gwendolyn. So Karina kind of has to give him the bad news. Gwendolyn and Brad are a thing. Is anybody shocked the pretty girl has a boyfriend? Anybody? Anybody shocked? Okay. You always want what you can't have, eh? Karina's pretty easy on the eyes too, Sebastian, so just, Later, Sebastian and Gwendolyn are in the room having a lovely chat about their childhoods. Sebastian has been cracking safes since he was a kid. He didn't want to go outside, he didn't want to play any sports, he just really was invested in trying to crack safes. He even created a comic book character whose superpower was cracking safes, and he called him Ludwig Dieter. Gwendolyn grew up in a rich family, but she never felt like she fit in with all of their stuffiness and coldness. So she ran away and became a criminal. She has played with the idea of leaving and striking out on her own. And she divulges to him that she wants to go for the Mecca, the 4th safe, whose name I cannot pronounce because my American accent prevents me from doing so. The Gotterdam Dug. So I'm just going to put it on the screen or find an audio of it. That's the Mecca. That is Wagner's 4th and final safe, like the Mona Lisa or something. And she tells him she wants to go to Nevada, where the zombies are, because there's a rumor that's where that final safe is. Foreshadowing. They're talking and they're bonding, and Brad Cage is getting kind of jealous. Tread lightly, Sebastian. It's time for the next heist. Delacroix and his team are already stationed at the bank at outposts. They're checking on security. They're ready. Meanwhile, our crew is prepping for this heist, which will not be as easy as the first one. And security is much more advanced. Karina can only be hacked into their system for 16 seconds at a time before she is detected. It's anxiety time. Sebastian and Gwendolyn manage to get past security and reach the second vault, the Valkyrie. This safe is much harder, and Sebastian makes a mistake, causing the safe to lock up a little bit. If he makes another mistake, it will lock up forever. A couple of security guards reviewing the footage notice that something is a little off, so they sound the alarm. Delacroix and his team have been watching the bank, and they haven't caught anything. And they feel like something is off. So then they barge into the bank and find out they're at the wrong bank. The safe was moved to another bank, the bank where our criminal crew is currently at. How is it that the criminals knew that the safe had been moved, but Interpol didn't? Make that make sense. Crap is hitting the fan and they need a diversion. So Brad throws on a mask, grabs a gun, and walks into the bank, holding everybody hostage. It works. It gives Sebastian and Gwendolyn the time that they need to crack the safe. They get the safe open, grab the money, and start heading out. Brad gets shot in the shoulder, but he manages to make it out and get to the van. The van is driving away as Gwendolyn and Sebastian are like running after it. Brad pulls her up with the money and then pretends to pull up Sebastian, but instead lets him fall into the middle of the street. That's cold. The crew gets away in the van, but Sebastian's there in the middle of the street, stuck. He manages to find a bike, leads them on a fun little chase, but ultimately escapes. Back in the van, Gwendolyn is pissed at Brad. The plan was always to cut Sebastian loose, but not in the middle of the street, and not before they finished off the third heist. But Brad's like, I'm rich, bitch! We don't even need to do the third heist. But Gwendolyn is done, and she gets out. Karina follows suit. Brad is pissed off, but tells Rolf to drive, and they leave the girls. They're safely far away from any authorities, so they're not going to get caught themselves, but they are still in the middle of this country, so they have to start walking. Sebastian makes it home and is surprised when he sees Karina and Gwendolyn there waiting for him. Gwendolyn apologizes for how things went down. You mean when you let your boyfriend toss me out of the van? And the women admit to him that for them it's about the quest, about the ring circle, and they want to finish it, but they need his help. Sebastian, after a few seconds, agrees. I mean, two attractive women asking him for help, telling him how much they need him. Slam dunk. Back in his office, Delacruz is upset that he let the crew slip through his fingers yet again. He starts Googling Hans Wagner's name, and surprise, surprise, Sebastian's YouTube video pops up. I guess the algorithm is throwing him a bone. He recognizes Sebastian from the robbery security footage and makes the connection. It's the day of the robbery, the final heist, and Delacruz is not playing around. The third safe, the Siegfried, is located inside of a casino. Delacruz made sure they had the right location. He's got his crew set up around the perimeter everywhere. But he didn't tell the casino about this because he wants to keep them in the dark. He doesn't want them getting scared and trying to move the safe early. Then one of the tech guys on his team picks up a transmission between Sebastian and the girls, planning to hit the casino at 5 a.m. One of his team members points out, doesn't this feel a little bit too easy? But he ignores her and says, nah, we're going to keep going. So at 5, they burst through the casino, guns a-blazing, ready. And the manager tells them, oh, hey, yeah, we moved the safe just like you told us to. What? Excuse me? Who told you what? Then we get a quick flashback to 8 hours earlier where we see Karina on the phone with the casino manager telling them to move the safe. Gwendolyn had hijacked the transport truck before it even got to the casino. Her and Sebastian had taken the guy's clothes and impersonated the truck drivers, taking the safe and driving off. They basically handed them the safe. I did not see that plan coming. So now Gwendolyn is driving the truck while Sebastian's in the back working on cracking the safe, the one with 72 trillion combinations, as they are moving. Talk about raising the stakes. Brad and Rolf are outside the casino staking the place out. Guess they weren't clued in on the third plan. Delacruz is losing it. Brad then checks his GPS signal on his phone. They know exactly where she's at. Karina, who has been monitoring everything in her car in front of the casino, sees this pop up on her screen and she's like, oh no. She jumps out the car just as Brad and Rolf drive away. Unfortunately, she gave away her position, and Interpol has her surrounded. She manages to get out a warning text to Gwendolyn before destroying her phone. They grill Karina, but she's pretty tight-lipped. Good for you, girl. Then they mention her little brother, her one weak spot. Family's family. Can't blame you. Back in the truck, Sebastian successfully opens the safe. They hop into the bag and load up the bags as they're looking at the brilliance of this safe. They get out of the truck, and there is Brad and Rolf. And Brad has a gun pulled on them. Ooh, it's a standoff. Except that Gwendolyn removed Brad's firing pins without him knowing, so he's pulling the trigger, nothing's happening. Gwen pulls her gun. With her gun trained on them, they tie them up. Rolf is reconsidering what side he chose to stick with. Too late, Rolf. They throw the bags in Brad and Rolf's car and drive off. They're in the clear. We all know better. They reach the dock and they share a kiss. Probably the most action Sebastian has seen in a very long time. Just as they're about to board the ship, Delacruz comes out with his gun drawn and tells him to freeze. Dang it. So close. Gwendolyn pulls her own gun out. Another standoff. But then she negotiates with Delacruz. She says she will go willingly with him if he lets Sebastian go. Sebastian's not a criminal. They just recruited him. Delacruz agrees and tells Sebastian to get lost. Sebastian refuses to go. Gwendolyn insists that he goes. She wants him to find the fourth safe. Reluctantly, he gets in the boat, rides away, as Gwendolyn is taken into custody. He checks the bag and sees that there were passports with fake names and plane tickets for the three of them, him, Gwendolyn, and Karina, to go to the U.S. together. She was truly planning on staying with him. There's a tear there somewhere that wants to come out. We flash forward to the scene from Army of the Dead where Sebastian is approached by a new crew to go and find and crack the safe. They know for sure that it's in Las Vegas amongst the zombie outbreak. Sebastian, who is now going by Ludwig Dieter, tells them he's their best chance of getting into that safe. Roll credits. My thoughts. Okay, this movie's kind of long. They could have cut like 15, 20 minutes and made it much tighter. And I think the other issue is that it's tied to the Army of the Dead. For me, that serves as a weakness, not a strength. There are like 3 scenes involving zombies, and 2 of them are just nightmares or premonitions. It detracted from the movie, and I honestly think it would have probably been better if it was a separate heist movie on its own that had nothing to do with the zombie world that Zack Snyder had created. Spoiler alert, Zack Snyder produced this movie. That being said, the few nods here and there and the foreshadowing dialogue was kind of cool. Also, Sebastian, or Ludwig, as he's also known as, is a fun character. He's very likable. But spoiler alert, he dies in the Army of the Dead. Well, we see him left in a room full of zombies. I don't think we actually see him die on screen, but the odds are not in his favor. He's the type of character that you want to see win. And hello, people, there are zombies. I know that the outbreak is on the other side of the world, in a small little location, but zombies. How is everyone so chill? Am I underestimating how well people will take the news of a zombie outbreak? I can't help but notice that Brad and Ralph did not know the plan for the third heist. So either the girls changed it or never told them. Obviously, Gwendolyn and Karina are the brains of the whole operation. But usually the whole crew is in on the plan. But perhaps somewhere in her heart of hearts, Gwendolyn knew to keep this information away from the boys. I mean, in turn, technically the guys had double-crossed them because they were planning to leave Sebastian out of the second heist and never told the girls. So, honor amongst thieves. Wait, no honor amongst thieves. Yeah. I do find it funny that Delacruz's right-hand person on the case, I cannot remember her name. She was hilarious. She pointed out like all of the little things. She was smart. She was the one that was like, hey, are you sure we should not tell the bank? Are you sure that's what that is? Like, she was just like on it. If he had listened to her, he probably would have been able to surpass half the anguish that he went through. Just saying. The cinematography and style of this movie is gorgeous and creative. I like all the characters, except for Brad Cage, who is the least developed, most cookie cutter, predictable one. It's definitely a good time, and obviously a different tone from Army of the Dead, which might work for some of you because it's not scary, just kind of long. I probably would watch a third movie with Sebastian/Ludwig's character, assuming the zombies haven't made nasty work of him in Army of the Dead, because I like him. It's no Ocean's 11, but it makes a good effort. That's all I've got. What did you guys think of the movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Our next month's theme is movies with dragons. As always, I'll put out a poll with 4 options and you guys will decide which one it's going to be. Look out for the poll next month when I drop it on May 10th. I'll tally the results and return on May 27th with a brand new episode. If you enjoyed hanging out with me today, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can always know what's going on. For early access to episodes, exclusive content, perks, and bonuses, check out my Patreon, NXG Global Productions, and become a part of the community. We're also on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, and wherever else you listen to your podcast. Links are in the caption. Later.